For decades, the software engineer was the high-paying, safe job. They were the architect of digital world. But today, if you walk through the tech hubs of Bengaluru or Silicon Valley, there is a new uncomfortable tension in the air. Is AI going to replace software engineers? When ChatGPT first launched in November 2022 and shocked the world, people joked that this new era of AI would replace everyone in traditional roles in tech companies except software engineers. Software engineers were seen as the builders, the people who create the tools that automate other jobs. Programming was seen as uniquely human work. It required structured logic, problem solving, and the ability to understand messy real-world requirements. For a long time, people assumed AI could automate repetitive tasks, but not reason through ambiguity or produce reliable production-ready code. They were wrong. Today, software engineering is one of the biggest roles being disrupted. This isn't the hype. This is a fundamental shift in how we build tech products. Programming existed for decades, but it became a mainstream career only after the internet boom in the 90s. And since then, one prediction keeps coming back again and again. This new tool will replace programmers. This fear isn't new. In the 1990s and early 2000s, higher-level programming languages and frameworks were supposed to make developers less necessary by abstracting away complexity. They didn't. In the late 2010s, no-code platforms promised anyone could build websites and apps using drag-and-drop tools. They lowered the barrier to entry, but serious software still needed engineers. And today, tools like GPT, Claude, and Cursor can write code from plain English instructions and even fix bugs. So the question returns, louder than ever. If you're a fresher trying to get a software engineering job right now, it doesn't feel like a slowdown. It feels like the jobs have mostly disappeared. Over the last couple of years, companies like Meta, Amazon, and Google have laid off thousands of employees while publicly pushing for leaner teams and higher efficiency. At the same time, they have doubled down on AI across engineering. The bet is simple. With better tools and AI, teams should be able to do the same or more work with fewer people. And when that happens, the pressure shows up first at the entry level. On paper, this looks confusing. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, software engineering and testing roles are still projected to grow by around 15%. That sounds positive, but most of this growth is driven by replacement and experienced hiring. The overall market grows while the number of true entry points stays limited. To understand why, we need to look at what's exactly changing inside software teams. A larger GitClear study that analyzed over 200 million lines of codes found that in 2024, code was being copy-pasted more than ever, while refactoring dropped sharply. Developers were increasingly pasting AI-generated code instead of improving existing systems. Google's Dora report showed a similar pattern. AI slightly improved code quality, but delivery stability got worse, with more incidents and rollbacks. In other words, AI helped teams move faster, but it doesn't remove the need for judgment, review, and accountability. This is the key shift. AI hasn't eliminated engineering work, it has changed who can do it efficiently. In 2024 and 2025, most developers started using AI tools. By mid-2024, over two-thirds of developers were already using tools like ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot. But in 2025, something more important happened. Developers stopped using AI only in a browser and started building with it directly inside their IDEs. Tools like Cursor and models like Claude made it possible to understand large code base, refactor files, and make sweeping changes using simple prompts. This dramatically increased the leverage of experienced engineers because they can now reason, review, and execute in the same loop. A senior engineer who already understands the system architecture and trade-offs can now move 2 or 3 times faster with AI. Tasks that once required multiple junior engineers can now be handled by one senior developer with AI support. That's why hiring dynamics change. Companies don't stop needing software engineers, but they need fewer people doing routine work and more people who can own complex systems end to end. As a result, many teams slow down or pause entry-level hiring, not because juniors are bad, but because the structure of work has shifted upward. While mass layoffs did happen, AI hasn't replaced developers outright. Instead, it has quietly changed how work is disrupted inside teams and who companies choose to hire. If this shift feels confusing, it's because most people are still learning software engineering the old way. That gap is exactly why we built our AI-first software engineering program to teach how modern software is actually built with AI as a core part of the workflow. And this is where the story shifts, from what's changing to how engineers adapt. AI is taking over boring and repetitive coding work that makes basic coding less valuable, while in real software engineering, judgment, system design, and ownership becomes more important. Yes, code is being written faster than ever with AI, but the hardest problem hasn't changed. Someone still has to make sure the code is correct, stable, secure, and maintainable in the real world. What's changing is what companies expect from engineers. Companies are no longer hiring juniors just to write code. They're hiring people who can think like engineers early. That means being able to build small but complete systems, understand why things work, debug real issues, and explain trade-offs even when AI is involved. Entry-level roles are fewer, so the bar is higher. The people who get hired will already look closer to engineers with leverage than beginners learning on the job. AI increases your leverage, but it also raises expectations. The engineers who grow are the ones who spend less time typing code and more time designing systems, reviewing work, and owning outcomes end to end. AI can help you move faster, but judgment, accountability, team communication, and decision making are still human responsibilities. Across the industry, the message is consistent. Satya Nadella has said that AI won't replace programmers. It will amplify them. And Jeff Dean has pointed out that while AI is great at routine tasks, it still struggles with deep reasoning and complex system design. AI is great at tasks. It's still bad at full jobs without human in the loop. So no, AI isn't replacing software engineers, but it is replacing the old version of the jobs. That's the real shift. And the engineers who adapt to it early are the ones who will stay in demand.